You know what it is, baby. I am looking and it is telling me you are now live. Welcome to another GridIron Gains, the show from an athlete's perspective for the athletes, to the athletes, and all those in between. I am your host, TonytheTycoon, and I am so excited to be here. You guys are listening to the smooth grooves of a YouTube playlist. I do not own the rights to this music, therefore IG, YouTube, and all these other platforms you're going to be streaming on later, don't be hating on your boy, right? Listen, guys, today we have something that we're going to talk about. GridIron Gains, episode 47, the legacy loop, how insurance becomes leverage. Now, here's the thing, guys. I want you to understand that we're going to have a hard truth for the athletes today, all right? Now, some of you may or may not know the statistics, but did you know around 80% of NFL players go broke within just 3 years of leaving the league? Let that sink in. 80%. And it's not just football, it's across pro sports. Too many athletes watch their fortunes vanish soon after the final whistle. Now, how is that possible that champions on the field can end up defeated by money troubles off the field? Well, today we're going to break that cycle. So, once again, welcome to GridIron Gains, the show where we tackle your financial future head on. And I'm your host, TonytheTycoon. So some of you may or may not know, I'm a former player, won a national championship with Texas, won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I've seen the highs and lows of the game, the pitfalls that come after. And believe me, I know what it's like when the cheering stops and real life hits. But I also know your gifts are bigger than the game. The real win comes when you use the lessons from the field to build a secure life off of it. So I want you guys to just ride with your man for about 30 minutes, and you're going to learn how we turn a few years of earnings into a legacy of wealth. And our playbook today is something I like to call the legacy loop. And it's all about how insurance becomes leverage, a powerful and often overlooked tool to build generational wealth. Now, listen, this isn't that boring insurance talk that you might be expecting, right? This is a bold strategy to turn today's earnings into tomorrow's empire. So let's huddle up and get started, all right? Now, here's a quick note before we dive in. I have a free resource for you guys. So if you guys are serious about building wealth, I need you to go to stattybooks.com/belief. That's STATTEbooks.com/belief. Download that book. It's waiting for you. And I want you to consider it as your first step to your wealth journey. Your playbook for shifting your mindset and just earning to truly believe you can build an empire. And while I'll remind you again later, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. So you guys go ahead and grab that and we're going to get into it. Now, from earning wealth to building the athlete's challenge. All right. So let's talk about a challenge we face. Now, look, as athletes, many of us earn more by age 25 than most people might in a lifetime. The average NFL career is only about 3 to 4 years, and that's crazy short. Now, you grind for those years to reach the pros. You finally start seeing big paychecks. And before you know it, your athletic career is winding down while you're still young. Now, the big question is this: when it's over, what comes next? And too often, the story goes like this. A player makes millions, lives a good life for a few years, and then poof, it's gone. The mansions, the cars, the entourage, all funded by that temporary salary. And when the contracts stop coming, reality hits hard. And we've all heard the cautionary tales, like Mike Tyson. He earned $400 million and ended up bankrupt. Terrell Owens made $80 million in his NFL career and filed for bankruptcy a couple of years after retiring. And these aren't meant to scare you for shock's sake, but they're meant to wake you up. Because if it can happen to superstars with big names like that, it can happen to any of us. Antoine Walker being another one. So we have to have a plan. There's a fundamental problem, and that is earning money is not the same as building wealth. See, earning is like a burst of energy, man. It's great for a while, it lasts, right? But wealth building is a sustained effort. It's about endurance and strategy. On the field, you wouldn't sprint all out in the first quarter and have nothing left by the fourth, right? But financially, that's what many athletes do. They sprint through their earnings early and have nothing left for the long game. So here's where we're going to flip the script. Now, you might feel like you're destined not to become a statistic, and you can be among the champions who keep and grow their money, but it starts with a mindset shift, right? Think of your sports career earnings as seed money, the capital to plant and cultivate a future or a financial future that outlasts your playing days by decades. But to do that, you need a game plan off the field just as solid as your game plan on it. Now, I need you to remember something. You remember how you study playbooks? What do? We watched film. We trained relentlessly. We had coaches. They were guiding us, right? You're going to apply the same discipline that you did here. And the cornerstone of your financial playbook today is something most people don't consider exciting, but that's exactly why it's a secret weapon. And that weapon is insurance. So I want to introduce you to something that I coined the legacy loop, right? It's your financial game changer. So I know you asking, Tycoon, what is the legacy loop? Glad you asked. I want you to think of it as your financial training regimen. It's a cycle that once set up, automates your wealth building and turns it into a continuous loop of growth, protection, and leverage. Now, at its core, the legacy loop is about taking a portion of your income and then systematically routing it into a wealth building vehicle every single month, just like clockwork. Now, what happens is over time, this creates a virtuous cycle, a loop that keeps working for you, even when you're not actively thinking about it. So I want us to break that down into simple steps, right? Like we're drilling the fundamentals of a play, right? So the first step is we're going to earn income. I need you to pay yourself first, guys. You know, just as you invest time in training before enjoying downtime, you need to invest your money in your future before spending on luxuries. You need to automate contributions from each paycheck or contract payment directly into wealth vehicles. What kind of vehicles? We're talking investment accounts, real estate funds, especially cash value life insurance policies. Why? Because in these words, your wealth team would be stocks, bonds, property, insurance that builds cash value. You can even include a college fund if you have kids or, you have family goals. That's the key to this automation aspect. You get to set it and forget it. So just like you automate your workouts, you don't think twice about going to practice. You need to automate these contributions so it happens every month without fail. There's going to be some discipline that needs to be able to build this generational security over time. Now, it's a slow and steady process, but this is the one that's going to win the race. The second step is you're going to store your income. You want to protect it and grow it. So these contributions start to grow. Your investment accounts might earn market returns. Your real estate holdings might appreciate or throw off rental income. And here's the special sauce. Your life insurance cash value steadily grows tax deferred in the background. So I want you to think of a permanent life insurance policy like a whole life policy or even an index universal life policy, an IUL, as a financial vault that's growing your money safely. And also it's protecting your family with the death benefit at the same time. So it's like defense and offense all in one. So if something happens to you, your family gets a payout. That's the safety net. If nothing bad happens, which we hope it never does, right? But just like in sport, things happen, right? You've accumulated a pot of money inside the policy that's growing without the risk and volatility of the stock market. It's like having a sturdy offensive line, which I played, right? So you're protecting life's blitzes, right? So that you can move your money forward. The last step 3 is going to be invest. You want to leverage that. That's the secret play. Here's where insurance truly becomes leverage, because unlike a retirement account that penalizes you for touching it early, the cash value in your life insurance can be assessed while you're alive. So we're not going to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, so to speak. So through that miracle of a policy loan, you can borrow against your life insurance cash value, typically at low interest rates, right? 3-4%. And now we can use that money for opportunities while your cash value keeps growing because it never leaves the account. You're borrowing against it. You get liquid cash to deploy. And this is other people's money. OPM is what I call it. And you're essentially loaning from the insurance company using your policy as collateral. Now you can leverage those dollars into 2 places at once. Your money stays earning inside the policy and you can invest the loan into another asset. So I'll give you an example. Say there's an opportunity that comes up and you want to buy into a business or purchase an investment property or even invest in an index fund during a market dip. You can pounce on that because you have accessible capital. You have liquidity. This is how insurance becomes your personal bank. Right. So you guys have heard about that Bank on Yourself by Nelson Nash. And wealthy families been doing this for years. They've been doing this for generations. Families like the Rockefellers, the Waltons, people of that nature. Right. So my thing is this. You're going to use that insurance as a trust vehicle. And my thing is, if the Rockefellers can do it, so can you. It's possible. Now, here's a bonus step. We want to reinvest and repeat. That's the loop, right? As your investments funded in part of those insurance loans start paying off, Maybe that real estate deal is giving you rental income, or that business you invested in is turning a profit. You know, you funnel the returns back into the loop, pay back your policy loan on your terms. So your policy loans have a flexible payment that you're essentially paying yourself back with. So this is going to restore your full buying power inside the insurance policy for the next opportunity. Meanwhile, any profits that you need immediately can go into a new investment so that your accounts, even funded additionally through insurance policies, have the ability to grow through the cash value. So it's like compounding on steroids, right? So you earn, you invest, you leverage, you repeat. That's the cycle, right? And there's no hard stop on that. It continues to grow. It continues to go. That, my friends, that's the legacy loop. And a lot of us don't understand that. But by following these steps, you've essentially built yourself a money machine. So even when your athletic income stops, the machine keeps working. So you've created a loop where money creates more money. This is not magic, guys. It's just strategy and discipline. The same things that made you a great athlete, here's the way that we're going to make ourselves great off the field, and we're going to build something that the game can't take away. So let's take a breath, because I know I dropped a lot on you guys, right? But I want to walk through an example and make it crystal clear. But before I do that, y'all go get that free playbook that I told y'all about at steadybooks.com, right? So I'm serious about that too. I want you guys to go get that. But I know you guys are fired up with the stuff that I'm telling y'all. So here's a question you might ask. Why haven't I heard this before, Tycoon? Most people have never taught these concepts. And that's why I put this together, right? And so in the alignment of belief and becoming, that's a free ebook that I wrote. That's going to get your mindset wealth to be able to even go on this wealth journey, right? So again, y'all know where to go get that, right? Now, here's something that I've learned. High performers know that the right knowledge is just as important as the right actions, right? So we have to start building a belief system that's going to underpin the strategies like the legacy loop. Because unless we have that belief system, guys, we're not even going to think that we're able to do that. We're going to have those doubts. But just like you dedicated countless hours to studying playbooks and films and sports, I want y'all to consider the book that I'm sharing with y'all as the same thing, which is going to, it's packed with insights, fellas. It's packed with insights, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get you where you need to go mentally so that you can get ready to dive into these things financially. I don't want you guys to miss out on that resource because it could change your mindset forever. So y'all going over there and grab it, and we're going to jump back into some more examples. All right. So the legacy loop. Let's put that into a real life context, right? Let's do like like a play-by-play, right? So here's an example. And the reason why I want to do this is I just need you guys to understand how powerful this is, right? So let's imagine a young athlete. Let's call his name James. Let's say James just signed his first substantial pro contract, right? And after taxes and living expenses, let's say he has $200,000. That's what he's earning a year, right? That he can put towards the future. Some years it'll be more, some years it'll be less, but I want to work around numbers, okay? Now, let's say James, he's using the legacy loop plan that I just talked about, right? So we're talking about automatic contributions. He's going to set up automatic transfers every month. Part of his paycheck is going to go into that investment account, like a broad index fund, and a chunk is going to go into premiums on the cash value life insurance policy, right? Now, this might be like, for an example, let's just say $5,000 a month into investments and then $5,000 a month into life insurance, into a life insurance policy. That cash value is going to build up over time. So we're looking at about $60,000 in investments and $60,000 in insurance, right? Now, the remaining $80,000 of that $200,000 might go into other things like a savings buffer, maybe chipping away at real estate investments as a down payment or something, right? But the key is this: he's living on what's left after funding his future, not the other way around. And that's what gets a lot of athletes in trouble. But after 3 or 4 years, James been doing this throughout his early career. So let's suppose after a few seasons, he's built up $200,000 in his investment account. And thanks to his contributions and some market growth, maybe $180,000 in the cash value inside his life insurance policy. Now, those contributions accumulate and grow continuously. So he's built some equity in a property. He bought the part of that $80,000 that year. And let's just say he put down a down payment on a duplex or something like that. So James is far from broke at this particular point in time, ladies and gentlemen. So if he left the game then, he'd be straight, right? But the thing is James is smart. He's not going to stop there. So when he sees opportunity strikes, he goes after it. Maybe he hears about a franchise opportunity. Maybe he's opening up a gym or a restaurant in his hometown. Let's say he needs about 150 to buy it, and he's going to buy in as a partner. Now, he could go to a bank and try to get a loan, or he could try to liquidate some of his investments. But selling those investments, guess what is going to happen? There's going to incur taxes, and it's going to cut off future growth. So instead, he taps into the legacy loop where he leverages his life insurance cash value, and he takes a policy loan for that 150 against the life insurance. He instantly has the capital to invest in the franchise without touching his investment account or selling his duplex. So his life insurance cash value is still intact and earning dividends. He's effectively paying with house money, the insurance company's money. So OPM, his money's staying safe and it's still in the game, earning uninterrupted compounded interest. So now he's built multiple income streams. Let's say the franchise takes off, right? Let's say it's a success. Over the next years, he's going to share, the profits might be about $50,000 a year in passive income. He's going to use part of that to repay his policy loan on a schedule that he sets, right? And in a few years, that loan is fully paid back without ever impacting his personal cash flow. And that's going to help him to be able to make other deals. So his insurance policy is available again for another play, right? But his investment account continues to grow. Maybe it's 300 now. They say the duplex has equity and it provides rental income. The franchise business is an asset that's worth, possibly more than the duplex. So that loop continues. So here's what happened with James now. He has multiple streams of income. He has investment, rental income, and business income. And he has a fat life insurance cash reserve that he can dip into as needed for future investments. Or he can even supplement this for his retirement income later. And that's going to be tax-free, right? That's the legacy loop. He can even put policies on his kids. He can have excess cash flow to more investments. Like, the system is bulletproof, ladies and gentlemen. And by the time he's in his 40s, he's going to be drawing income from that policy, whether it be loans or withdrawals, but it's going to be tax-free. So essentially, he's like somebody with a pension, right? And so no matter what, there's a life insurance death benefit in place, one day if he has to take care of his family because he's no longer on this plane. That's the legacy part. So I'm trying to get you guys, do y'all see the power in this play, man? I'm telling you, this is why I love insurance so much. He took temporary high income. This is what James did. And he converted it into permanent wealth assets. He treated his money like a team. And every dollar had a position in a job. Some dollars played offense. That was the investments for growth. Some played defense. That was insurance for protection. Some played special teams. Those were the opportunistic plays like the franchise that we talked about. But all of this together is going to create a championship winning strategy. So this is how you're going to turn earning into wealth building. It's not about stashing cash under a mattress or blindly handling money to a manager, you know what I mean? Or your financial advisor and hoping for the best. This is about you creating intentional things to treat your finances the same way you treated your athletic career, with strategy, dedication, and a little creativity. So I want to highlight something important, the word leverage. So when we say insurance becomes leverage, we're using the tools like life insurance to give you options and advantages that amplify your wealth. Leverage is about doing more than what you have. Just as in training, you look for ways to get more results out of the same 24 hours. It's the same thing in finance. You're looking for ways to get more results out of the same dollars. Life insurance loans, investing with other people's money, compounding returns. These are the ways to make each dollar work harder and smarter for you. And look, I'm going to tell you guys like this. Perhaps this is the biggest leverage tool of all. Could be. But this is the biggest leverage tool of all, and that's going to be time. So when you sign that first contract, you give it time for compounding the work. And every year your money cycles through the legacy loop, it's growing and picking up speed like a snowball. 10, 20 years down the line, you have an avalanche of wealth building. Whereas if you waited until retirement started, you'd have lost that momentum. That's the reason why starting early is so important. So your next player is going to be able to get a financial coach and a game plan. And so I know what you might be thinking at this particular moment, man. Like, okay, this sounds great, but it's a lot to set up. So how do I actually do this? But look, just like becoming a pro athlete, you didn't do this alone, guys. You had coaches, you had trainers, you had mentors. You got to build a wealth team the same way you did in sports. You need a financial coach or an advisor, someone who understands the unique needs of athletes, someone who knows how to structure these insurance policies correctly. and how to balance the investments, how to navigate taxes and all of that. And that's where we come in, right? So in case you guys might not know, man, I founded Stat Financial Services for exactly this purpose. I want to coach athletes through the transitions from active income to passive wealth. And so what we specialize in is in life insurance and annuities, but also alternative investments for a reason. These are the tools that provide predictable, stable growth in income. So you're not lying awake at night worrying if the market is going to fumble your future. We help you craft a plan that's personalized, just as your training regimen was. And just like in football, a great game plan is nothing without execution. So here's the thing, fellas. Here's the thing, ladies. Y'all have to take action. And the best time to start was yesterday. But you know what the next best time to start is? Today. That's the play call. So here's a clear call to action. I want you guys to visit statfs.com, schedule your consultation. You'll have a chance to sit down with us and our team, virtually or in person. And we're going to map out the legacy loop and how that can work for you. We'll look at where you are now, where you want to be in 5, 10, 20 years, and we're going to design a strategy to get you there. We'll figure out how to optimize your insurance and what kind of policy fits your need, but we need to balance your investments, and we need to ensure that you and your family are protected every step of the way. So the consultation is just a starting point, right? But that's the actionable step that you're going to have to take. I just want you guys to think of it as a coaching session for your finances, like a one-on-one, focused on making you better. Right? You wouldn't skip practice before a championship game. So don't skip the opportunity to secure a financial championship. I want you guys to go to statfs.com, book your consultation. I want you guys to get a personalized game plan. This is how we're going to put this knowledge into motion. There's no more waiting on the sidelines for this, ladies and gentlemen. I need you guys to get in the game. So as we get ready to wrap up, as we talk about greatness to generation, or generational greatness, right? I want to rewind on some things and I want to drive these things home, right? You've heard some hard truths tonight, but without a plan, even a massive earning can slip away, leaving nothing but regret. And we've seen that time and time again. But you've also heard some truths, and with the right strategy, higher earning, even in a few years, can be transformed into lifelong prosperity. So unless you want to be another story of riches to rags, I'm going to need you guys to turn your sports career into a launching pad for generational wealth. And the biggest thing is this. In the GridIron Gains community, we don't accept mediocrity or fake. All right? We're going to create our own destiny. Right? Just like training in the offseason gives you an edge during the season, the financial decisions you start making now will determine the life you live when the stadium lights go off. The legacy loop, that's just a formula for consistency. And this is something that every athlete can understand. It's about consistently investing in yourself, constantly protecting what you've earned, and constantly leveraging your assets to grow more. And over time, that consistency is going to beat any flashy one-time win. I promise you that. So I want you to imagine a future where you're not anxiously checking your bank account or your bank balance, but instead you're watching investments grow. You're enjoying passive income streams. You're able to take care of your loved ones and your community. I want you to picture having true freedom, the freedom to pursue new passions after sports, to start businesses, to support charities, or simply just to enjoy life on your own terms, because you've already had the foresight to set up the finances in the right way. That's what being a champion off the field looks like. That's what the legacy loop can unlock for you. So look, before we sign off, I need you guys to hit those 2 key actions one more time, because knowledge without action means nothing. So first, I need you guys to go and download your free book at statebooks.com/belief. This is where you're going to start shifting your mindset so that you can carry the same confidence you have on the field into your financial life. And look, that ebook is going to help you build that unshakable foundation on belief and a vision for your wealth. The second thing I need y'all to do, and this is important, hear me out now. I need you guys to schedule a consultation at statfs.com. Don't procrastinate on this, ladies and gentlemen. Successful athletes thrive under coaching and guidance, and this is no different. So in that session, we're going to craft your personalized legacy loop strategy. We're going to begin putting it into action. And this is how you're going to move from learning to earning passively and then to winning at the wealth game. So I'll leave you guys with this, man. It's been a powerful session. You guys are champions. And we've talked about so many of our peers and how they fall into the financial trap. But more importantly, we talked about how you will not be one of them. You have the tools now. You have a game plan, you have a team ready to help, and you have actionable steps to take. So the ball is in your hand. You're on the 1-yard line. You got 99 yards to go to reach that end zone for financial freedom. My question is, are you just going to take the first step? Or are you going to just stand there? I know a high performer like you. I know what you guys are going to do. Y'all going to take that step and you're going to push forward. So I need y'all to remember this. No season lasts forever, but one season can set up the next. And the money you're making now can set up the rest of your life if you choose to leverage it. You've been given an opportunity that few people get. And so now it's time for you to maximize it. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on GridIron Gains today. And if you found value here, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to share this knowledge with a teammate or a friend who needs to hear it. Because at the end of the day, guys, we're going to rise together, right? So if you guys have any questions about this stuff, just drop something in the comments, right? And then we can clarify anything that was covered. But until next time, it's your man, Tony the Tycoon. And I'm reminding you guys this: stay hungry, stay focused, keep striving for these gridiron gains in every aspect of your life, because your legacy is beyond the game and it starts now. I need you guys to get out there and make it happen. And I need you guys to build what the game can't take away. It's your man, Tony the Tycoon. I'm out. Peace out, Cub Scouts.